Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to another episode of an honestly very hard challenge. In the last episode, our awkward bat baby shuttled his entire traveling party to the shelter of the oak tree. He really just wanted to make sure that nobody was going to be injured during the storm. He knows far too well what sort of danger that could pose. But unfortunately, the Bandit brothers did decide to trick him once more, and the storm never came, so now he's feeling pretty embarrassed. They don't seem to mind too much, though. It didn't really set Aqua too far off course, since she never found any of the clown koi in the first place. That's going to have to be her main mission now. And it was nice for her to catch up with her parents again, too. At least she was able to see Comet one last time, because it's very unlikely she'll make it back again before he passes away. But she did find one of these healing fruits out here, and as she's cleared the area around it, that means any of our creatures could come down here to use it for themselves in the future. I'm starting to wonder if maybe Aqua thinks that this is never going to be her destiny. Like maybe it's another flash of her past life, that strange life that she can't fully remember. She knows that somebody she loved, somebody that she was very close to, betrayed her somehow, and now she's awfully leery about having children of her own. So I think this is something that she would probably pass up personally. As she clears out the grasses, making sure that the whole traveling team can come down to the shore, we'll have Addie follow right in her shadow, attuned as she is to the other prophet's emotions. She's probably ready to swoop in and comfort her if need be. I suppose for now we could have these two take shelter right on the beaches. We'll need Addie over here just to make sure that she can find the leeches after all. She has a little bit less trouble seeing. So with the healing fruit currently unguarded, maybe we could actually have Morganite come over here to take a look. Since she spent so much time with our tribe, I'm sure she's probably picked up on their ways too. Maybe her family never paid any mind to the healing fruits, but for our tribe mates, their sole purpose is to provide our babies with good health and fortune. She must think it's awfully sweet. These creatures are all so protective over their youth. They treat every single life as if it might be the last. So maybe she'd cast a little smile over her shoulder, glance over at Awkward, who's still making his shy way through the grasses too. It would be nice to have such a big family, don't you think? Deep down, Awkward is still probably shocked by how big Aqua's family truly is. I feel like he probably came from a much smaller family himself. Maybe he was even an only child. So he probably lived on this tiny little island with just his father and his mother. But who knows if they're going to be there now. He might be all on his own, with only Morganite by his side to comfort him. Well, Longshot, I'm sure you're not going to leave his side either. Let's have you jump down here behind Addie for now. He is probably going to be the very first one to dive in the ocean, if he has any say in the matter anyways. He's very ambitious, and he would have loved to make Aqua and Addie proud. Oh, and Comet, it looks like you have yet another meal to snack up for your mate. 2 pieces of bunny meat, and then that Dodomingo meat too. I guess you'll just have to stand guard for now to make sure that the birds don't grab it instead. Unfortunately, our Dodomingos have kind of been dropping like flies lately. I guess it kind of makes sense though. It's almost like their song is over, so as Comet's time comes to an end, he's leaving the island in the hands of the next generation, which of course means Aqua, but it also means Jericho. Jericho, who's trying so desperately to convince Mars that he's no threat. He actually just brought some bunny meat over to him, but it didn't really leave Mars too convinced. So he figured maybe they could go bunny hunting together, but it looks like all of the bunnies have skittered away. Except for this one down here. Oh, it's so far away though, I'm not sure if you would even hear that. He's not quite as good at hearing as Nicole is after all. Maybe that's something that she's picking up on instead. So Mars is probably just upset. Maybe he thinks that Jericho actually scared away all of his bunnies. So he'll leave in a big huff, storming straight over to this termite mound because he knows he has to bring back something more for Nicole. One measly little piece of Dodomingo meat is definitely not going to cut it. So I think he would be desperate right now. So desperate that he would even crack into one of these ancient termite mounds. But what he finds inside will be even worse than Nicole's wrath. So with all of those itchy, fiery termites crawling all over him right now, he is probably frantic. Let's bring Jericho over here, and let's have him lick those termites off of him, so the poor thing can finally see once and for all that Jericho just wants to be friends. After all, if he wanted to see harm come to you, he could have just left you with these termites, Mars. Jericho isn't here to steal your bunnies, though he is here to gather information. So I guess in a way, Jericho is actually being kind of sneaky, weaseling his way into Mars's heart just so he can learn a little bit more about his life back at home. Ooh, and Stone, it looks like you have another little bunny friend. Oh, tons of bunnies. See, this would be the perfect way for you to train your new daughter. For now, I'm going to bring you over here, though, because I think Nicole is starting to get a little suspicious, too. She sent Mars out a very, very long time ago, so she must be wondering where he is now. She's probably pretty upset, too. She wouldn't want to send Stone off because she's so flustered. Like, do I have to do everything myself around here? If you want it done right, Nicole, you've gotta do it yourself. So despite the fact that she is carrying a baby, I think she's going to try to find him. Let's have her come up here just to grab a few of these poison berries before we go, though. I think she could probably use some extra food to take with her. So, Alara, for now you can stay with your father. We'll have you skitter on over to this side, so maybe you can get a better look at this acorn that you've been trying to crack open. The poor thing is still a little bit too young to actually do any work for the tribe, but that doesn't mean she's not going to try. So I think we should be ready to skip the day now? All we have left is you, Celestite, and you have 2 more days before your baby can be born. So that means that these are the last acorns that you can grab. And I guess the last of the Dodomingo meat too. Let's have you come over here to grab this, and then you can let Comet know that you're about to build your nest. So who should we watch tonight? Maybe we should keep an eye on the traveling group, just to make sure that they're going to be safe. They're pretty much surrounded by the most of the grass on the island. Though with all the creatures that they have on their side, it would probably be pretty easy for them to overwhelm a Berryina. Let's just sniff around to be sure. Nothing dangerous that we can see, right? Nothing by Nicole's camp, and certainly no more silhouettes in the darkness. The only silhouette we have is our friendly Berryina, who still seems to be trying to get Acadian to turn around. Or at the very least, he's still trying to travel with Acadian. These two seem to be traveling buddies on their own. Oh, you actually found us some food? Excellent, so while you collect that, maybe you can also convince Acadian to at least say goodbye to Sheba. That way he won't be disappearing out of nowhere. Even though he does want to travel by himself, Sheba means too much to him for him to just abandon her. So come on over here, Acadian. Leaving the Berryina to do a little bit of hunting by himself for a while. We'll have you settle down right next to Sheba, and right next to the healing fruit that she found too. This would actually be a pretty good area for you to explain what's going on. I think he would probably still keep the prophecy hidden from her, though. He knows if he told her, then she would just deny it. She would insist on going with him still. So he's just going to pretend that he wants to go it alone, that this is his way of finding himself maybe, finding his own place somewhere on this big giant island, and hopefully it's going to be over here by this other tree. Then with this tree populated, and with the tree off on the island too, we'll have a different colony beneath every single one of the oak trees. That was kind of our unofficial goal of this series. Aside from just taking down killer Berryinas, once we have control of the island, I think we can say we've won. I've got to be honest though, I feel like Sheba would still be pretty heartbroken. I mean, she basically left Acadian like her own son, so it probably feels like history repeating itself again. Is she always destined to lose the ones that she loves? To adventure and to glory? Is she never going to be enough for them? She'll try her best to hide it, but it's going to be very, very hard to shake off the sting. And poor Acadian probably sees it too, but he knows this is for the best. If she travels with him, then she's only going to meet an early death. So for now, let's go back to our traveling group again, because it looks like we have another little bunny back here. Do you think maybe a Longshot would jump back? Or would Addie? No, it looks like Addie and Aqua are a little bit too far away, so Longshot, this is all for you. Oh, you've actually chased it straight into Morganite's waiting paws. Excellent, so I guess you two can actually work together. I wonder what Awkward thinks of that. Like, you've got to admit, he probably has the slightest little shy crush on her at this point. I feel like these two probably both have a crush on each other, but they're too nervous to mention it. hence all of those careful hints from Morganite's side. So seeing Longshot work so well with Morganite, Awkward is probably feeling a little bit out of place. He probably knows it's something that he could never pull off, with his frog toes and his one broken wing. How could he ever hope to chase bunnies so gracefully? She probably thinks that he's too clumsy and weak, not to mention a little bit crazy too. Unfortunately, she was there to see his failures with the storm. Oh, Awkward. Maybe the deities are on your side. You know, I vaguely remember the Matchmaker Bunnies from a previous series. Was that the Lone Wolf Challenge? Takir and his Matchmaker Bunnies. How strange that he would send his bunnies out to greet Awkward at this moment. It's almost as if Takir himself is trying to give him hope. But he's still not quite confident enough. You just couldn't hold him down with that big batwing of yours. Maybe you'll get him next time, though. After all, Morganite doesn't seem too bothered. She seems to be having fun chasing them around with you. So we'll have you go ahead and clear out the grasses, I guess? That way you can stay right by her side. Ooh, and that way you can see the leeches too. Oh no, have the Bandit Brothers come by to put an end to your fun? You know what, Awkward? If that leech is going to come over, I think we're going to let it stick to you. Maybe he's too busy watching the bunnies hopping around that he wouldn't even notice that leech until it's too late. Another trick by the Bandit Brothers. You can never escape their mischief. But I think this might actually be a blessing in disguise for you, because that gives Morganite another reason to be close to you. She can pick that leech off of you on the next turn, and since you won't take any damage until the following day, as long as we make sure to lick your wounds, then you'll be safe and sound. As far as Aqua and Addie not noticing, I think you would actually try to hide it from them. Like, not to be a bother or anything, maybe he would try to claw it off himself, hiding it with that big batwing or something. They would think that he's just goofing around. Like maybe he's brushing off dirt or something after diving after the bunny. They can probably see how much these two like each other too, so they figure they should give them some space. Okay, Takir, I get the picture. You ship these two too. And then meanwhile, there's just poor oblivious Longshot back here. I guess we'll have Awkward use one of his turns to attack the bunny, though since he is so weak, that's not going to be able to take down the bunny entirely. Then we'll have Longshot come by. Ooh, there's a bunny over here too. Alright, Aqua, you might as well use your turn. Then we'll have Longshot come this way so we can help you pick up the meat. So next, let's go to Celestite. We're going to have to make sure that she sets up her nest right next to the healing fruit. Now Comet, there's nothing else for you to grab nearby, so we'll just have you follow her for now. Come on over here, grab that healing fruit, and then place down your nest right next to it. Then Comet, let's have you sit right on top of the stump. In fact, why don't we have you go ahead and let out one last song? It's very unlikely that it'll attract any attention, of course. But maybe it's just one more song of good luck. One more song that might even reach the ears of both Mars and Jericho. I wonder if they would hear that since they are so close. This would be a good opportunity to try to lure him over to your side. The song of protection and resilience has always been Comet's favorite, and it sounds so much more peaceful than Nicole's. Mars doesn't even know a life without strife and war, though. I'm not sure if he would even do well living in a place so soft. Only if he trained beneath Comet himself, as one of the guards against death. Honestly, I think that's something that Mars could get behind. It's fighting for a purpose rather than just fighting for Nicole. So for now, we'll let him think on it. We'll let him come over here to fish in the stream as Jericho stays by his side, oblivious to the true danger in the grasses. The scorpion lurking just a few feet away, who is going to be absolutely furious if she sees Mars conversing with the enemy, sharing her secrets, telling Jericho all about their tribe. She knew there was a good reason not to trust him, and it wasn't just because he was so painfully slow. Right now, I think that she still figures he's just taking his sweet time meandering back to the camp. I don't think it's ever going to cross her mind that maybe he ran into like an actual bear-hyena or something. In her eyes, if a creature isn't strong enough to take a bear-hyena down, then he has no right to be in her tribe anyways. Now, as for you, Stone, let's see what we can do with your daughter. She's still too young to go bunny hunting, and far too young to be left alone. So instead, I guess it's just back to using the acorns as a way to train. This is actually what you did for Mars, too. So why don't you go ahead and try to show her how it's done? She doesn't have the nimble fingers, of course, so it certainly won't be as easy. And I feel like that's going to frustrate her more than anything. He can see that she is a very, very dedicated soul. She doesn't give up easily, but she also has very little patience. She might even lash out at the stone at her side, clawing big gouges down its surface with her hyena claw. Anger erupts from her in ways that he never expected he'd see. It has to be a little bit scary even coming from such a tiny baby. She's very, very strong after all. So that should be the end of this turn too. Now let's go back to Celestite and skip the day one more time so we can see what her next baby is going to look like. All of her babies have been very, very lucky so far, so I think Mooneye should still be watching over them. Mooneye is still keeping them safe. And you know, little clownfish? Oh, he actually looks very, very different compared to his siblings. How funny that they named him Clownfish though, as if like after the clown koi themselves. I wonder if that was just a little nod to his big sister? After all, Comet does know that Aqua's still searching for the clown koi, so maybe he named him after sharing that story. Do I actually see a little crabbit over here? A little crabbit in the tide pools guarding the shell? Oh, if that is not a sign that the Bandit Brothers are after you, Awkward, then I don't know what is. But you did, as anticipated, take a little bit of damage, or rather a little bit of a fright from that leech. No damage yet, but we are running out of time. So that's where Morgana comes in. Now, when we lick creatures with a spiky body, that's when we take damage. But I don't think it works in reverse, does it? Like, I really hope we're not going to have any tragedies here. Your spines won't get in the way if we remove the parasite, right? The Dodamingos are coming out to observe, okay. Are you perhaps the healer Dodomingo of your flock? Coming by to make sure that Morgana is doing the right thing, I see. Very, very tentatively. You know how careful you have to be after all. Let's have you lick Awkward's wounds. There we go. Good as new, Awkward. Crisis averted. Now Morgana has quite literally saved your life. Do you think perhaps a little shell would be a good offering for her? If we have you hop on down to the tide pools, maybe you could go ahead and sneak that shell from underneath the crabbit. Okay. Did you find another piece of Dodomingo meat, buddy? All the way over here. Oh no, I think he stole our friendly Barriena's meal. Oh, look at this. You didn't even eat it? You were so worried about Acadian? Well, he did grow his third and final gem, so this is literally the perfect time for him to strike off on his own. Yeah, this is our friendly Barriena, that's good, I just had to double check. So now it's finally time for Sheba to part ways. She understands it's for the best, but she's still very, very sad. Let's bring her over here. No. Don't even tell me. Oh, it was you? Oh, I was so sure that I was going to be our Awkward baby. Oh, Mars, look at this. He actually has a leech on him. So our theory of the leeches swimming upstream was actually right? Oh my gosh. You better ask Jericho to pick that off of you right away. But first, I do want Nicole to maybe lash out at one of these bunnies. Another bunny too? Oh, do you think the Matchmaker bunnies are actually trying to distract Nicole? How interesting. They're keeping her away for just one more night. One more night so Jericho can very gently pick that leech off of you, Mars, so you won't have to worry about Nicole coming in to ruin the moment. Well, Takir is certainly making his stance very, very clear today, but no leeches around here, right? Yeah, not a single leech, so you should be okay, Awkward. With that shell in hand, well, in wing, I guess, you could hop back to the shore and pass it gently over to Morganite as she finally takes down that bunny from before. There we go, a love story for the ages. Bunnies, leeches, danger at every turn, what more could we ask for? You know, I probably shouldn't say that. You know what's gonna happen? JessiMew is gonna be like, you wanted danger? I can send you danger. My killer bear hyenas would certainly startle you guys straight into the ocean. You know, they might actually have the best way of escaping from the killer bear hyenas. I wonder if it would try to follow them across the ocean? I know it is rather shallow. This bar of land could certainly be crossed by a bear hyena too. But maybe that's why Awkward's family chose the islands in the first place. Maybe he's never seen a bear hyena in his life before. Well, in the next episode, since we're so close to the islands now, we'll definitely make it over there. It'll be time for a long shot to show his stuff. He is so eager to go diving into that ocean, so eager to finally show Awkward back to his home. It's probably all that Addie and Aqua can do to even hold him back in the first place. They must have to pin him down in the sand right now. I hope they'll find something useful on the island too. Aside from all the acorns that'll be underneath the safe haven, I wonder what other mysteries Awkward's home has waiting for us. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!